second team to be able to win a back-to-back one if they win here. And they go head-to-head against a bit of a wild card, frankly. They were very good in the group stages, managed to squeak through in the last set of matches in round number 5. Optic Gaming are a very dangerous opponent for Virtus Pro today. We're going to preview the match and look forward to the players coming out on stage in a few minutes' time. Cap, Virtus Pro top of the board in terms of DPC. If they win this match, they go into the semi-finals, win one more match after that, and they're guaranteed going to TI. That's what this means right this weekend. We're at round 13 of the DPC, and they can actually guarantee themselves a spot at TI by reaching the final.
It's crazy because you said, what, 60% of the points are still left out there or something like that?
Absolutely, yeah. 38.9% of the points so far.
All right, so the fact that they may secure themselves here at this tournament with so many points still left in the pool is amazing. Virtus Pro has been an incredibly solid team. In fact, personally, I see a link between these two teams. One has flex picks, and the other has flex rolls. Right, where you have Optic, where we have talked about, 33 and Zai have actually been switching up between the two of them. And then I think Virtus Pro have established through over the last couple of tournaments the importance of flex picks, where they have several heroes that they're going to be picking up that they can fit into different roles. We have that famous finals in Katowice where they picked up the Omni Knight. Surely it's a Pasha hero. First game, pull it out for Ramses. You know, like that was definitely a little bit of a swerve. They've established they can run Sand King with Roger, or they can do it for Pasha. Either one works fine. And they've got even the Tiny, who other teams have been experimenting a little bit more as a flex book, but even Virtus Pro has run it for both Pasha as well as Noah.
Okay, well, Cap's firmly on board with the Virtus Pro train. Give me the NA hype. Can Optic win this series?
No, but
no. let me ask you that again. So, can Optic win this quarterfinal?
I actually think they can. I don't think they will, but I think they can. So I'm going to give a little. This is what the kind of speech I would give for a team, right? Okay. And let's be real. Most players wouldn't listen to me anyway. But if you look at the one-to-one with sports, this is something like a sports mentality.
Yes.
Like Optic, first of all, they're in a huge disadvantage just based on the fact that not only are they just clearly not as good as VP right now, but they played them and beat them. That's actually a huge disadvantage because VP is not going to be sleeping in this match.
Okay.
But the advice I would give is you need to go into each individual game as a best of one, and don't just forget about the series. Forget about one game to the next. You need to switch things up big time and just throw crazy curveballs. Don't let the previous game affect you in any way, even if you've won. That's the kind of mentality you need to go with to actually win a series like this. They can win. It's going to be tough.
So I'm going to take Sunfan's logic.
So powerful.
Yes.
I'm going to apply it against him here.
Yes.
Virtus Pro have been beating Optic before that best of one. So if anything, surely Optic is going to be pretty prepared versus Virtus Pro. They played him against so many times. They've lost. They've experienced losing and all the learning that comes along with that. Losing a best of one, that's not going to give Virtus Pro that much information.
It's not about the information. I feel like it's more, it gives them that extra push, right? Because if we go back again to watch that first game in this tournament that they played, VP completely threw that match. Can we all agree on that? That was 100% a throw.
Yes.
That
they
alone
were doing fine in
up.
the game, and they lost in the space of like 5 minutes, and they literally just almost GG'd out.
This is like a match, like a David and a Goliath, where Goliath is on Adderall now. They understand what's going on. They understand what the stakes are. I mean, at the end of the day, though, we do have to, like the top 4 DPC, but they're going to TI. We talk about this mathematical stuff. The top 4 to 6 are pretty much going to TI, right? Let's be real. Unless there's some crazy-ass changes. That's not going to happen most likely. So it's going to be a tough one, but I do think the best-of-one mentality is the good way to go about things, honestly. But a lot of players don't value my advice, Cap.
I feel like I've watched the Dota 2 equivalent of Cool Runnings as a preview.
Yes, great movie.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to introduce you to our 2 sets of players. Please do make plenty of noise for Virtus Pro and Optic Gaming.
A persistent threat in their region. This team were winners of the NA Regionals and arrive in Bucharest with a point to make after disappointment in Poland. Experience? Check. TI winner? Check. Deadly teamwork? You're about to find out. Welcome on stage, Optic Gaming. The world was in shock when they changed their major winning roster. But with new strength and ambition, they took Poland by storm to become the first team ever to win 2 Pro Circuit majors. And the third could be just around the corner.
Those souls were not yours to claim, Shadow Fiend.
Welcome on stage, Virtus Pro.
Two very big names in the world of esports. Virtus Pro versus Optic Gaming going head-to-head for only the 3rd time in Dota 2. It's a 1-1 scoreline so far between these two, but that doesn't really mean an awful lot as they head into this match. A best of 3 in the quarterfinals for a guaranteed shot at DPC points and, of course, a chance to move on to the semi-final. The draft not too far away. We'll let the players get settled and get the views of Sunsfan and Capitalist. Cap, as we turn our attention towards the draft, I do reflect back, and actually this is one for Sunsfan because I know he loves this hero.
Oh boy.
Optic won the last game, obviously, in the group stage, using a Crystal Maiden.
Oh, I love that hero? That's new.
Well, yesterday you said you did.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know how much I want to go into that first game because it just felt like an anomaly in a lot of ways. I mean, it actually felt like one of those, you know when you first get into Dota and you think you can win by yourself, a 1v5? Even though this actually wasn't the case, exactly. You're still at that mentality. It's okay. It's okay. It's good to be an innocuous young boy sometimes. But Gyrocopter, Pycat, it felt like he was 1v5 in that game. He just completely dumpstered everybody.
And so often that's what Optic's game turn into, right? Is that CCNC is not really being protected a lot of the times. He's being aggressively focused by the enemy team. And Pycat has been doing amazingly, stepping in and carrying through these games for Optic.
And or CCNC, I should say, he got off to a horrendous start on Storm Spirit in that game as well. And we were expecting him to come. They won the game, and he contributed a lot as far as utility is concerned. I think we need to discuss something a little bit more important, guys. PPD's mustache, or lack thereof at this point. I voiced my displeasure to him personally, letting him know that I do not like the idea that he shaved it, not only just shaving, but he shaved it mid-tournament. I don't understand that mentality at all. That thing was glorious.
Yeah, I think along with the cap, I was fully on board.
I mean, it's just, I don't understand why you would change something so important in the middle
I
of
don't know
major.
either. I blame PGL.
It worked really well with the finger guns that he brought out in that little clip show together.
Yeah.
Really putting out the outlaws.
Well. Talking to PBD, why don't we compare him to a similar model on the other side of the fence?
Sure. Yep, two great captains. Jinx.
Whoa.
I'll give you a Coca-Cola.
You owe me a Red
later.
Bull? Red Bull here.
Oh,
Thank you,
Red Bull. Here you go.
Yeah,
one.
PPD versus
Delicious.
Solo. I mean, two legendary captains and phenomenal win rates, phenomenal tournament championships to their names. Both going to play a vital role in the success of their teams today.
Is that a tattoo on PPD? What is that?
Yes, it is.
Does he actually have a tattoo?
Yeah.
On its upper arm.
Since when? I need to pay more attention to his skin, apparently.
You need to examine these players' bodies more thoroughly,
well, I didn't own him. That's the
sweet
problem.
young boys. You and Slacks need to get at it.
Yes, that's something to note for the future. Thank you, Cap.
Okay.
No problem.
Cap, the more serious side of things, in comparison to the two, one does have a tattoo, one that obviously doesn't. have one visibly, but other than that, what do you see between these two?
Well, clearly, if you get some sort of staph infection from your tattoo, that's going to hinder your performance. Other than that, I think both of these captains have done a lot for these teams when it comes to the drafting aspects of the game. They've also been very solid 5 positions. Solo, I think, has been performing really well. Like most of the 5 positions that I think of, Faith, DDC, they're actually on the Chinese side, but on the Western side of things, when I think of really strong performing 5 positions, Solo is actually one of the first names to come up for me. So I think he's done fantastic for the team. He's definitely brought them through many of the trials and tribulations of Virtus Pro. It seems like he's like a father figure, especially to Ramses. We've seen that in their videos together.
Yep. And Sunfan, you'll be pleased to know that Solo passed the mark of 322 games of Virtus Pro last week.
I've heard. It was very big news. Everybody celebrated that back at home.
It's good that he's moved past that now.
Absolutely. But moving on to PPD, obviously one of the historic leaders or captains in Dota 2. I think he's kind of a weird, he's maybe in a puppy mold where not always everybody's favorite teammate, at least historically speaking. So that's why when you build a team around him, you need to make sure you have the right personalities, which is kind of what we were talking about, where I didn't think the original 5 that they had were perfect for each other. But I think they're starting to round it out nicely, and it's nice to get some young blood like CCNC, for example, somebody that PPD can mold. Whether that's for the better or not remains to be seen, but they do have the skill to take out Virtus Pro, I think.
He skipped his prom for TI5 qualifiers.
CCNC?
No, no one.
Oh, no one.
Yeah. I didn't know that. That's cute.
These boys are dedicated.
You think he would have gone anyway?
Absolutely.
Is that just like a random thing?
No one is a teddy bear.
He is pretty cuddly.
I would love to have my arm attached to him at a prom.
Can we get like a plushie made of him? Don't you think like a big teddy bear type of thing? Like him and Mind Control, maybe?
Him and Mind Control are the 2 teddy bears of the Dota 2 scene.
Yeah,
what have you made of Pycat's return to the top end of Dota?
I love Pycat. First and foremost, I have to say, when he retires eventually, if that's even a thing in Dota. Properly, he is going to take everybody's job. He is an amazing talent. He does amazing impressions. He's super smart. I mean, he coached DC when I was, God, how do I keep going back to this garbage over and over again? But no, he's a super smart guy. And I think actually the coaching helped him a lot, kind of find himself back into the player's mold in a lot of ways.
Yeah, he's one of those annoying people that it doesn't really matter what he does. I mean, he could just decide he's suddenly going to be a rap star, and I'd probably buy his CDs.
Yep, most likely.
He's just fantastically talented and does an incredible impression of Milk, which always puts someone top of the list.
Yes, I would agree with that. That is pretty unheard of.
Okay, draft number 1 then of this quarterfinal, Virtus Pro versus Optic Gaming. Big match for both teams. Virtus Pro looking for a 2nd consecutive major championship. Optic looking for their first DPC points of the season, and that road begins right now.
So in the last matchup, VP banned Dark Willow right away, and doesn't look like they're going to ban it at all this game, at least not in the first phase. We'll see if at this point, because that was kind of early in the tournament, maybe teams are starting to realize maybe Dark Willow's not that great of a hero or whatever the case may be, but they're going to pick the Omni Knight now that Razor's out of the pool.
I wonder if they feel like this Omni Knight is a better response to the Wisp Gyrocopter that Optic opened with, because I actually thought the adjustment was going to be made that VP was going to be banning Wisp instead of the Dark Willow. But they actually still leave that hero out there. So instead, we're going to go for the Bane, who I think matches up pretty well against the Gyro, which is something that VP also secured themselves with this Omni Knight. They can do that 1-2 core opening. It was successful for them at Katowice, but we've seen teams actually try this here at this tournament, and it felt like it got countered really heavily when TNC tried to run it against VGJ Thunder.
Yeah, they've only had the 1 loss in the last 5 matches they've used the Omni Knight in. They were all at Katowice, and that 1 defeat was against Evil Geniuses. It was a slightly odder draft, and they have multiple players that can play it as well.
What do you guys think of Gyrocopter? I haven't talked to you guys about this personally, but do you think it's kind of overpicked? What was the percentage? Last time we talked about it was like
54.
60.
It's 54% win rate right now after the 24 picks, but it's way ahead of anything else, like 7 ahead of Sankin, which is the 2nd most picked here. And it's been the most contested as well. In other words, it's been the most banned as well as picked. So 41 contested.
Like, I don't think it's bad. I just
but
think
it's been
a little,
very hit and miss, isn't it?
It's a little overrated.
Sometimes it seems like, oh my God, it's incredible. And other times you go, well, that's garbage now. What's going on?
I think it was one of the heroes of the tournament for Katowice. After all, Virtus Pro ran it in all 4 of their games in the finals, won 3 of those games. But I think it's being addressed because it was picked so heavily, and we're beginning to see it be countered. So I like this change-up where Virtus Pro are going to go for the Terrorblade. I also think that part of the reason Optic, one of the biggest reasons they open with this Bane Death Prophet is because of the Ancient Apparition ban that Optic pretty routinely throw out there. But Ancient Apparition is a hard counter to like both of those heroes with the Ice Blast. So
don't play a huge amount of Terrorblade. It's only the 3rd time they picked it in 3 months.
That's a Ramsey special, though. He is very good on that hero.
They've won all 3, by the way.
And we've also seen a lot of times people specifically, back when Terrorblade wasn't being picked as much, teams were beginning to pick him up a little bit more. And the most often time I saw him was picked up against the Death Prophets because people felt like the timing matched up very well, where you have the single target damage dealer in the Terrorblade that is able to put pressure on the Death Prophet, and their cooldowns are very similar to each other.
And I think in a lot of ways, especially picking this early, kind of prevents Optic from picking a lot of these heroes that, like Reflection being amazing against, for example. People that pick up Radiance or whatever, or somebody that has an aura. Of course, Reflection was nerfed slightly in the last patch. The attack speed slow is not there. I thought there was going to be a way bigger nerf. I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, I don't even remember it even doing that before. It apparently did literally everything in the books, so we'll see how strong he is in this current iteration.
I don't see Tidehunter ban. I think it's one of the better heroes against the Terrorblade, as well as a good AoE control. Team fighting ability is always nice versus the Omni Knight, because you're looking to be able to stun one hero that you're going to focus down and also be able to hit the Omni Knight in the back line. Make sure he can't save that hero you're looking to focus down. So that may be a decent 3-4 pickup for Optic. Or perhaps the Bat Rider, if they want to be more aggressive. We saw a lot of success out of the Bat Rider Death Prophet combination at Katowice. I just can't remember who was running that. It was probably Vici Gaming who had that combination. Yeah, it was Vici Gaming because they also ran the Faceless Void, which is still out there.
Yeah, Faceless. Well, when I see an Omni Knight these days, since Diffusal Blade doesn't really work the way that we are used to. I'm still not used to that, honestly, even though it's been a while. What heroes do you look at? Like, you look at a lot of magic damage, but you still need that physical DPS guy. When you get that physical DPS guy, do you need him to get a nullifier? Do you need to keep that in mind as far as itemization in the future? Or do you just not care?
Do you like the Rubik here?
Yeah, I think Rubik is always a decent answer. Rubik Bane, I think, is still kind of questionable for me. I maybe would prefer something like the Earth Spirit. I think Brewmaster is another answer to the Omni Knight because of the way you deal with Guardian Angel. It all just comes down to how you want to play around your Death Prophet the most.
Okay, well, going
with
the IO
bit sideways.
Instant pickup of the Disruptor against this Wisp. And, Optic did ban it, the Naga Siren. Thank goodness, because it is very strong versus all these Wisp lineups and works really well with the Disruptor. So Optic,
I don't know how you would ever team fight with a Naga on that team.
Yeah, you could definitely see like Optic set themselves up for this Wisp pick with the Witch Doctor Naga Siren. I didn't notice that until now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see who the IO companion is going to be with, but even just with DP, getting that extra heal is going to be huge. The double brain sap, I mean, that's pretty disgusting, Cap, that combo. Yeah. Oh, man, crazy stuff.
So probably going to be saving our carry for last pick. It now comes down to one of those many offlaners that we were talking about for 33. Are there any other ones that Optic could fit in for themselves? The Sand King still out? No, that was first ban.
It's a bit of fun for you. The only time they've run a Wisp since forming as Optic Gaming.
Legion Commander. Wow. A pickup against the Illusions, but that is a really risky pickup here for a couple of reasons. First of all, Legion Commander has not been a super successful nor super picked up hero. A lot of heroes felt like it was just too slow of an offlaner. Another reason is because you're playing against the Omni Knight here, and so it makes sense to be able to grab the Omni Knight, be able to get him into a duel. Great hero to be able to focus down. But every other hero, you may have super unsuccessful duels where somebody just gets heal bombed and then turned into Guardian Angel, and your duel is going to be turned against you. And you'll probably lose that one. So I'm pretty surprised by this one. But they must feel like it is enough of a counter to Terrorblade. though we haven't really seen any other teams try and employ it that way, despite Terrorblade's popularity.
Yeah, and usually when you see an LC like this, I mean, obviously overwhelming odds is going to be amazing against Terrorblade, but other than that, like press the attack doesn't really have that much value, I feel. It takes off the reflection, I believe, but it doesn't do anything against Glimpse, and obviously nothing for Omni Knight.
I think the biggest difference between this Legion Commander and all the other possible times it could have been picked up is that they're going to have a Wisp, and they're going to try and threaten the Terrorblade in his lane as much as possible. So Wisp Legion Commander is one of those duos that stands the test of time. It gives you both the aggression that you need for heroes like Legion Commander or Beastmaster, who can win their lanes by just being a super, like, they're pretty stat focused, they've got great right-clicking, they've got pretty decent sustain. They just need somebody to make sure that they don't lose the fights in this 1v3 scenario. So Wisp is going to make sure you have the mana to spam out the overwhelming odds and get in that Terrorblade's face.
So a couple of things. Firstly, this is only the second time Optic have played with the Wisp since they formed. The last time they played them was against Virtus Pro in the last match in the group stage, so it's only the second time they played that. And thirdly, this is the first time Virtus Pro have actually used any time to pick anything. That Legion Commander has definitely thrown them off.
Yeah, the Wisp pickup is as a result of Zai switching over to the support role more often.
Is this a gyrocopter game for Optic? He's still in the pool.
It could be.
I wouldn't say it's the best pick, but I'm trying to think of something else for Pike. Oh, okay. VP's going to take it.
I was just about to say it could be
pick.
just as good for VP, simply because they can now switch this and they can run themselves. I'm not sure how Terrorblade mid does against the Death Prophet, but they can try and match the gyro against that Legion Commander Wisp or something like that. It's entirely possible that maybe Omni does quite well against the Death Prophet in 1v1. I wouldn't really know. So, you know, in this day and age of these pretty dramatic lane switches where we're bucking the traditional norms of where off lane and these safe lane heroes go, VP have plenty of options.
And their fifth pick will be a support for Virtus Pro. It will be Rogers, imagining that it will be. He's been very heavily targeted in the bans, by the way.
Yes.
Very heavily.
Understandably.
I mean, 4 of his top 5 have gone in the bans.
They can go for more traditional, like a Witch Doctor even that's kind of a more of a 5 role, but they could probably get away with that this game. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that one's gone. That's more of a solo hero, but the SK's gone, the Naga's gone, the Chen's gone, the Tuska's gone. The only thing that's left is Kunko.
Nyx.
Or the Nyx, yes. He does play a lot on Nyx
I
too.
think Nyx, I think I've seen this before. They like the Nyx Assassin because the damage it puts into the Death Prophet. And it's a good hero for being able to hunt down Wisp lineups when they go for the split push.
Oh, ET's still there.
Oh, yeah, we kind of missed ET. That was next on his list.
Very annoying hero to play against at all stages of the game. I just feel like I don't know what it is, but in the past month, he just felt so much stronger early game than I remember seeing him in the past, like, 2 years. So everybody knowing how to manipulate these camps and get ridiculous damage from Astral Spirit.
I don't know if Optic have, I think they've just been pretty much always running Death Prophet in mid, but if they had the ability to switch it, I think this could be a decent Tinker game.
No, it's going to be Troll, the Pycat Troll Warlord.
Troll, Wisp, Legion Commander.
It's a bit out there, Cap, isn't it?
It is a little bit out there. It's a little bit greedy in that all 3 of their cores need a decent amount of farm. You're going to have a tough time being able to win one of these lanes where the Elder Titan goes.
Look at that clean-shaven boy.
Okay.
And we've seen how Gyrocopter versus Death Prophet in the mid lane actually is kind of okay for the Gyrocopter. I think he loses in the farm battle, but just by a little. He keeps the Death Prophet off of him with a homing missile spam.
Okay.
So,
prediction time. Are you dreaming green?
I am not. I'm going to go Virtus Pro here. I think that maybe Optic's lineup is just a bit too greedy, and I feel like the Gyrocopter is pretty well set up here to be able to win these early fights in Snowball.
Okay.
I hate to agree, but VP, yeah. I just think that
I'm so confused
Optic
right now.
is a little overmatched.
I thought you were totally on the NA hype train. That was all.
I'm not a biased person. Okay, how dare you?
You tried to make Virtus Pro North American earlier.
I mean, it'll happen eventually. You'll see. If they throw this game through overconfidence, they become NA officially. So just saying.
I'm being schooled here by Suns fan. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, because the game is upon us, and it's time to send you over to our commentary team for Game 1 of our final quarterfinal.
Thanks so much, boys. Suns fan, not biased, not sure about that. As we get into our first best of 3 of the day, Brax, our last quarterfinal, it is Virtus Pro versus Optic. The last pick, Troll Warlord, coming out from Optic. A little bit of an interesting surprise pick, perhaps, coming in for the North American team.
Yeah, very interesting, very unconventional, but of course, it is a comfort pick for Pycat, and there's a lot of synergy with the Legion Commander. Tons of physical damage with the attack speed, of course, so we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yes, we will. This is going to be a very interesting rematch of the group stage game played earlier on this week. Optic winning after being down 14K net worth, but Virtus Pro looking for the back-to-back majors, the first back-to-back major champion since OG. That's what they're trying to attain here. In their way is going to be Optic, the green wall at the start of this best of 3 series. Winner of this moves on. They will be playing up against Team Liquid, and we will see how things start out here in terms of the laning phase and where everybody shifts and moves to.
It's always nice to see how the lane phase comes together, isn't it? We see these teams contesting runes early, getting some pressure out.
Ramses will secure the bounty rune, but he's on the run. 3-3, pretty good move speed with the IO tether and the overwhelming odds, but he can't find the kill. So it looks like Virtus Pro are going to get 3 of the bounty runes. A good start for them in this game, Brax.
Yeah, but they had to pay for it with Terrorblade salve, basically. So Optic Game is going to have an advantage in the offlane. Not too bad of a trade. This Roger, though, pulling the creep wave up top.
Give me that creep wave. The ranged rolling axes will go. Pycat is there to try to slow him down, but Pycat is up here alone for now. The supports will probably rotate at some point, but he's not going to. All right, well, Bane's already up here, so PPD's here, so never mind that.
I'm curious to see how this lane plays out. The Troll versus the Omni Knight. When Troll gets phase boots, he can probably do pretty well in the lane. You know, with the range form, just keeps right-clicking him, but until then, it might be a little difficult.
What do you think about the build-up for Troll now? Is it early BKB, maybe getting in an SMY instead, something like that?
You know, as funny as it is, that he probably builds pretty similar to Gyro.
Yeah.
In a sense where he goes from like the phase into like a smaller item into the BKB, right?
It's like the same. There's so many of those team fight heroes. You get level 6, you start roaming around the map, like Razor, the Gyrocopter, the Jug, now the Troll Warlord being picked up as well. So it's interesting to see for Pycat, and we'll see how he gets off into his fast start. But
CNC with some unfortunate tower aggro takes all his health and damage, but oh Jesus, nice solo.
He is getting chased down. One more auto attack, not able to do the job for Solo at the Thunderstrike coming in. Solo also getting a little low. 3-3 is the overwhelming odds available. Can he get it off and maybe go for the kill? He's got the movement speed. Now they have the tether coming in, but I don't know if they dive this tower. They thought about it for a moment. Now 3-3 will back himself up and get back to safety. Zai coming in at the right time, but not able to get the kill. Now Roger ranged rolling axes. They've got the brain sap. The purification comes in though, and that should stop any further aggression from Optic. So the dual lanes from both sides, a lot of aggressive play being made for both teams at this point.
Both teams playing extremely aggressive on the offense. Solo.
Oh, those spirits so close. They're going to go for the kill. They will get it. 3-3. First blood into Solo, even getting some extra damage onto Ramses. This IO Legion Commander.
This is not an easy lane to play against, especially with the early bottle coming out and the bounty runes for Zai. It becomes miserable.
Legion on her own can actually do pretty well, but when you pair her up with an IO, it seems pretty strong.
Yep, she becomes that much stronger. And it's actually ridiculous when you can't deny the bounty runes, too.
And they will be able to grab them pretty easily. Solo trying to contest Zai. He will take a couple of auto attacks as the Thunderstrike goes, but he has the spirits coming in. PPD will find a haste rune in the top rune spot and start moving around and try to make something happen. But other than that first blood, though, it's still rather even, and the CS advantage is actually going pretty heavily for Virtus Pro for the most part.
Yeah, they're actually doing extremely well in their lanes.
Pasha getting some good experience. Roger getting chased down by PPD. This is going to be a kill. A solo kill with one more auto attack.
Oh,
no, the purification, the last auto attack. The range rolling axes from Pycat gets it done. And they nightmare onto Pasha. They might be able to get more. He has the repel available. The whirling axes are in. He's getting low. The TP rotation is there. Last auto attack, and Pycat gets the double kill. They dive the tier 1 tower, and PPD with the lucky 2-minute haste from Brax comes into play.
Well, that's called calculated, not lucky.
Completely calculated from Peter, getting the job done. Virtus Pro, they're down now 3-0, but no big deal. They're still getting free farm for both Ramses, and the Gyrocopter is actually ahead of CS and against the Death Prophet in the mid lane for now.
Yeah, it all, you know, even with those early kills, right, still, it has to do a lot with the CS in the lanes. Gyrocopter versus the Death Prophet. I would say DP's a bit favored in this matchup just because of the long range and how much easier it is to harass the Gyrocopter. We see no one going for a Rocket Barrage style build, but Zai getting super low.
Yeah, they'll rotate out with the Legion Commander. So maybe when CCNC gets more levels, this lane gets a little bit easier, potentially, with more points in the Spirit Siphon.
Yeah, I'd say level 5 is when the nukes become problematic for no one, but he's doing extremely well.
And we'll have to later on deal with the Ramses repelled Terrorblade. That seems like a pretty good combination. The Omni Knight making it already difficult to kill the Terrorblade, and then you have the Sunder on top of it. Ramses, he plays this hero so well, it's going to be so tough to bring him down later on.
Yeah, whenever we see Terrorblade, it's always about being able to burst him before the Sunder comes up, but pair him up with the Omni Knight, it becomes even, it probably won't even happen. It's ridiculous.
Conversely, you have the IO with the Death Prophet. You know, keeping the Death Prophet alive has always been, you know, maybe that Oracle pick that we've seen sometimes. Now you have the IO with the Overcharge, so both teams kind of have ways to keep their heroes alive.
Yep, that they do.
PPD getting run down. Pasha coming in. He's dropped the Repel. They have Purification available. The Brain Sap coming in. They have the Astral to come through. Onto the 2. The Bash will hit up Pycat. The Stomp's coming in, and that will keep him alive as he tries to run. He's very speedy on this Elder Titan. He's able to get away to safety. But just these 2 heroes alone are already able to do a lot of damage, even against an Omni Knight in this lane. Yeah, I like the mischance from the Whirling Axis against Elder Titan, right? He builds up that damage from the Astral Spirit, but then all of a sudden you're man-fighting this Troll Warlord and you miss half your attack. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's such a slow attack speed, makes it even better. Yep, it's a nice way to deal with the early aggression coming out from that. 5 minutes into the game, and it looks like we haven't had any big rotations, not that any are needed. Pasha has to repel in the top lane. The Whirling Axe has come through a little bit too late, and he'll be able to get back to his tier 1 tower. And Optic are diving onto Solo down bottom. Level 4 on 3-3. Zai's level 3. The kinetic field will come in. They have the tether, but they can't really turn and look for this disruptor. But he's pushed back, at least for the moment, and this makes Ramsey's life at least a little harder. That's the difference in this game, right? We see Optic Gaming's offlane pushing out some of these heroes, making it super difficult for Ramses to last it. Look at the damage. And they're just in there. 3-3 is not afraid at this point. And remember, this is a newly switched position. 3-3 came in playing the 4 position. Now they've switched him completely to the off lane. It looks to be working for Optic, at least in this early stage of the game. They almost get Ramsey. They're looking for Solo, a good kinetic field yet again. The overcharge coming out. They have the courier coming through. They want to dive this. They want to try to get the kill. They have no overwhelming odds, but they have pressed the attack. TP coming in. They've got the gyrocopter. He's level 6. The call down coming in, but it will miss. Now 3s are trying to get out, trying to get away. The glimpse will come in, and VP going to find themselves a big kill. And they're back into it just like that. 1 kill going their way, and the rotation from the gyrocopter, you should expect it at level 6. Yep, agreed. It's a bit different since it's a mid lane gyro, right? Usually it's the whole, I'm going to TP to a tier 2, smoke up with the support, make a rotation that way, but no one TPing down helps them. It salvages their lane. Even though Ramses is farming very well, Solo basically can't enter the lane at all. He gets pushed out every time. Yeah, he's not really been involved. Roger level 2 in the top lane as well. He gets bashed up once by Pycat. The Repel, they're trying to get the Astral. There's the Nightmare coming in, so they can't get the Purification off. But look how fast Roger is trying to run. He's got the Fog coming in, the Whirling Axis. I don't believe it hit him. He's in the tree line now, still trying to find this kill, but he is so deep, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get this one. He's going all the way through. He's looking for a TP. Nice play from Roger to get out of that tricky situation. Well played indeed. So we've approached that time where it becomes much more difficult for a mid laner to leave the lane up against a Death Prophet, right? Can't really make those rotations, but is he actually going to kill him? 3-3 is just manning up. Yeah, he's going to back up. He's going to get glimpsed, though. They're going to bring it back. They've got the meta here. It might be enough. He's so fast on the Legion. One more auto attack, and they get there in time. The Thunder Strike, just enough. Virtus Pro able to turn the corner and get the kill. 3-3 gets dropped down. Wow. Very close stuff, but a nice little pickup. And meta was used there, so now he can start pressuring the tower as well. But like you were mentioning, CC and C level 7, if the gyrocopter is to rotate at any point in the near future, the Exorcism will come out and he can try to take the tier 1 or at least put some damage onto the tower. Yep, but look at what they've done. No one, he's in the base healing. We have Roger soaking up some experience mid lane. Now no one can rotate anywhere or just run back down to mid lane. Roger is 2 levels behind PPD, and he's getting Spirit Siphon and caught. He's going to get the stomp off the Brain Sap. He does get a 3-man stomp. Doesn't matter, though, as CC and C secures the kill with the Spirit Siphon in the last auto attack. Yeah, I really like IO this patch. We see a lot of these 4 positions more focused on just laning, right? And not so much in the roaming aspect. When you have IO with that fast bottle, it helps you set up for these super dominant lanes like with the Legion Commander. The analysts were talking about Beastmaster, the same kind of style. It looks really strong. In this match especially, it's literally been 2-1-2 the entire time. There's been few, if any, rotations. There are now as they're looking for the fight. The glimpse back to PPD is not the target they really want, but they will find that kill. Maybe they could get more out of this. The Exorcism was going. It's a lot of damage done to the tower. Posh is coming in. He's going to have to repel now. He's still taking a lot of damage from the Ghost. He's got to get back. The auto attacks won't be able to bring him down. They're all here, though, ready to defend the tower, at least for now. It'll take a little bit more damage from CC&C, but he needs to be ready to back up here once the Exorcism is done. But look at the pressure. That even forces Pasha to TP in, so Pycat's going to do some tower damage up the top lane, too. They're making a lot of space with their movements. Yeah, but all the meanwhile, Ramsey's still free farming in that bottom lane on the Terrorblade. Yep, and we've seen what a free farm Terrorblade can do. This hero completely takes over the game. We'll maybe see that man fight between the Troll and the Terrorblade at some point in the future. That's always fun to watch.
That's a weird one, since Troll has so much, or since Terrorblade has so much armor, but Troll, he does bash and attack very fast.
Exactly. Maybe bash him when the Sunder is about to come out, so Ramses needs to be careful. They've got the Nightmare, level 4 on PPD. They have the IO coming in. Duel, I don't think is available for the Legion. He's not level 6 yet, but it is still some damage done to Ramses, pushing it back, and he's holding his skill point, so if he does in fact get jumped on, he can Sunder, or rather grab that skill point in the Sunder at the end of it.
Yep.
Big stack, though. Stack Dota, we've seen a lot of it recently with the Lunas yesterday, the Gyrocopters, obviously. Pretty big part of Dota right now is getting the stacks done.
He is so good at stacking multiple camps. You can toss the Spirit in one camp, walk into the next, pull him out, and you soak up all the Astral Spirit damage as well. You can make a play.
And they're looking for a fight bottom. The Glimpse doesn't really do much for PPD. They have the 6 for 3/3. He has just enough mana for the duel.
That was very nice for Optic. That's the Metamorphosis beat it out.
Yeah, that's huge. By the way, they're still diving here. Solo might be getting run at here. They have the TP coming in from the Elder Titan. Now level 4, he got 2 levels out of the stack camps that they were taking together. The Reflection coming in from PPD. The Metamorphosis is still up for half its duration. Now the Stomp about to come through. They will avoid it. The Brain Sap coming in. Ramsey's about to get turned on to 3/3. He's not got too much mana left. They will find Solo, though. They're going to get this kill more than likely. They get the duel off as well. The Elder Titan in trouble. The IO Tether. I don't know if they get the duel victory. They won't, but it's still a kill going the way of Optic Gaming, and it's going to be 2 for nothing. They have a ward behind the tower, and now they will turn this into a Tier 1. Exorcism is back up in 5 seconds if they want to use it. I don't think they need to, Brags.
That was a great play. And that's also after the mid-tier 1 has been taken, so Optic Gaming moving very quickly. Impressive stuff.
And Ramses is forced up to the top lane trying to fight up against Pycat, who has 1,500 gold, surprisingly enough.
Pycat's actually doing a pretty decent amount of damage to him, too.
Yeah, he is. Is there any... Well, hold that thought. He's going to try to go for the kill here. The Whirling Axe is coming in. Ramses is just dead.
Oh, my God.
He just gets destroyed with a pass from Pycat. He's able to get it done.
He was trying to Sunder's eye, but he just couldn't make it there.
Yeah, he was trying to get to the back lines, not quite there in time. Pycat given the well played, the good old well played.
That's what you call calculated. As this is a popular Synderen term. He talks about priming these RNG abilities. It's important to, you know, hit a creep about 8 times and going for the kill so you can secure a bash.
Secure that bash.
And he sure primed that one real well.
RNG has nothing to do with it, I'm sure.
Not at all. Not for these professionals.
No, they know what they're doing. Pycat especially. He's doing really well. Up to 2,000 gold. He is saving his money. He is investing. I'm not sure into what, but he is in fact investing.
Yeah, unfortunately in Dota you don't make interest, so he's probably going to have to spend that pretty soon.
And we'll see.
It's actually bad to hold on to a lot of money in Dota.
2,300 gold for Pycat now.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it's going to be the Mask of Madness.
Yeah, just the farming tool. Get a little bit further ahead. You're already doing well. You're already the top net worth hero. Yep. Why not get more gold in that regard?
Oh, he actually the Demon Edge, so Battle Fury build.
That was the other choice that I was thinking about. I was going to ask you about earlier, and it makes a lot of sense as well. It's sort of the similar thought process. Meanwhile, 3/3 in the bottom lane getting stomped up. This could be a big kill. They don't have meta. 3/3 is going to go for the TP. It's going to be close. They have the glimpse back even if they... even if he was able to get out with that TP scroll. So nice play from Virtus Pro. They rotate all of their heroes bottom to get that kill, with the exception of Pasha, who's top lane and now getting chased down. He has the Guardian Angel. He's trying to get to this Midas. I'm not sure. It looks like he gets one anyway, but is it going to be enough? The Whirling Axe is coming out. The damage is too much. Pycat secures another kill on the Stroll Warlord. 3-0-1. What a start for Pycat in this top lane.
Man, the improvements Optic Gaming have made from this tournament compared to the last tournament is very, you can see it. You know, in their gameplay, their early game looks very solid. Before they were pretty shaky, unstable, I would say, but they look a lot better.
A lot of it, I think, comes to that position switch that we were just mentioning.
I agree. 33. He has 3 in his name. He's born for the Optic.
Yep, the double 3. He's even more confident about it. Yep. The 3 position.
This is not a one-sided game. This is a Terrorblade and a Gyrocopter. We've seen exactly what these heroes can do. Gyrocopter, once he picks up some of those stacks, gets into these team fights, call down is ridiculous. And it's also a pretty good answer to the IO in general, just because the flat cannon hits hit the IO, so you can't keep bottling to heal up your allies. Makes it very dangerous to stay in.
It's a good point. Bursting down that IO, I think, is going to be a pretty important aspect of this game.
Yep.
Getting into the back lines. They don't really have that big initiator like they would usually have with Pasha on the Sand King.
Right.
It's kind of tough to get back there. You have Glimpse and Static Storm, which is very useful.
It's more like team fight control, right?
Yeah.
You have like the Echo Stomp from the Elder Titan and Disruptor. It's good when they relocate into a fight. But yeah, without that, it's pretty hard to start a fight.
Virtus Pro definitely got great counter initiation, but they will have to lose their Tier 2 tower in the bottom lane as the push commences, and they're trying to take the Tier 1 top, but the trade obviously favors Optic in this scenario.
Yeah, it's funny that both teams have this one hero with a really long cooldown. Like Optic Gaming are playing off CCNC's Exorcism, then VP are playing off Ramsey's Metamorphosis. And that's like the big, it's the green light to take an objective, right? Every time you have that up, oh, we can go knock down a tier 2, a tier 1. Every time we have this ability, we're able to go fight, and look at this. With no Exorcism, VP smoking up, trying to make a play.
This is the perfect time for it, too. PPD will break the smoke again. We've seen it so many times in the group stages, and he will actually make it so that Virtus Pro can't find anything. It was the perfect time to smoke for Virtus Pro, but they won't be able to get anything done with it.
Yep.
Maybe save a few wards placed down. So there is that. Virtus Pro can hang their hat on the fact that they've got some vision in the enemy jungle.
That is like the ultimate feels bad.
Yeah.
Right, smoked up, 5 position breaks the smoke, can't even kill him. But yeah, as you said, they did get a lot of deep wards down, so that'll help them continue to get a lot of farm. But Pycat with the Battle Fury starting to skyrocket in terms of farm speed. How can they keep up on it?
I mean, he's huge, and we're not going to see the Terrorblade Battle Fury. We'll see instead the Dragonlance. So, I mean, Terrorblade can farm pretty quickly himself, but Pycat in this game is a farming monster. The Troll Warlord is already really good at hitting creeps and doing it quickly. With the Battle Fury, it makes it even easier for him. They have a Gyrocopter to fall back on as well, who, again, not the best creep hitter, but still pretty good.
It's not just the Battle Fury, though, too. It's the IO tether also.
Right.
So he runs between these camps, essentially hasted. He's not really in danger if he gets ganked, because there's always the relocate out save. And as you talked about for the initiation, it's going to be what? The Elder Titan speared into the Stomp and then into a glimpse. It takes a long time, and it's not very reliable.
Yeah, there's really no instant disable coming in from Virtus Pro that you would like to have in order to get these kills.
Yep. And look at the way 33 can play down bottom. He just camps a side lane in fog, waiting for someone to show. There's always that blink duel potential with the relocate on top, so no solo hero can actually show. They've always got to be careful.
Ramses is really close to him. They're going to try to set something up. 3-3 was at the wave, so this Blink Dagger that he just purchased is, of course, revealed. And this is where it gets a little scary for Virtus Pro. They have this initiation potential for Optic. Not to mention the Fiend Script is up on PPD as well. So we're starting to get to those abilities, and not just those abilities, but also the Virtus Pro abilities like the Static Storm for the Disruptor and the Earth Splitter from the Elder Titan. In the meantime, PPD is going to find himself in a lot of trouble here. He's going to get caught. This will be a nice little pickup for Virtus Pro and some more room to work with, as no one will get the kill and some extra gold to boot.
I like to call that one the scouting mission. Yep, don't worry guys, I found him.
Space created.
It works every time.
Yeah.
You know, even though that was the smoke from the support duo, they still got some wards down. I mean, look at the vision coming out from VP. It's very good.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they need to keep on farming and look for these key pickoffs and not fall victim to the relocate into the LC duel game.
They have 5 wards on the map right now for Virtus Pro. That is an insane amount of vision that they have.
Yep.
And that could lead them to getting these kills. I believe they're about to smoke for Virtus Pro potentially. They bought one on solo.
Oh, there's the duel down bottom.
They're going to try to find this. They have plenty of damage coming in. The Earth Splitter comes in too late. That's a big kill. Optic finding Ramses getting dropped down. Dead for 44 seconds now, and it's now a 4K lead for Optic Gaming.
My God, and we're getting to the point of the game where Troll Warlord can very easily take Roshan too. So that's going to be another objective available once they start knocking down some of these towers to gain back map control in that area.
He pretty much has a full SNY at this point, along with the Battle Fury. In the meantime, Virtus Pro will do what they can in trying to push the mid lane, and they're getting close to taking the tower, but the rest of Optic are rotating in, trying to collapse on this mid lane. And I think that's going to signify Virtus Pro backing up now. PPD looking for that grip, can't quite get there. They get the silence off. The glimpse comes in, though, onto CCNC, and that should be the end of any engagement. Although 3-3 was still looking for that blink duel, but it was on cooldown for 5 seconds.
There's a stomp, and
they might find the skill to press the attack, though. The call down will be hit onto PPD, but he's trying to bait something. He knows that they didn't have Ramses for another few seconds, but now Optic will back themselves up back to their side of the river, with the exception of CCNC.
Man, that's so awkward. They managed to land the stomp and drop the cooldown, or the call down, but then all of a sudden press the attack comes out, and your one setup disable didn't set up anything.
No.
That's rough. That kind of illustrates how difficult it is for them to be able to catch. And we see Pasha goes back for the Hand of Midas because he knows nothing's really going to happen. They're in full farm mode with the Gyrocopter and Terrorblade. They want to scale and get to those next items.
Despite Virtus Pro being down 5K, that counter initiation is still very dangerous. The Static Storm, the Earth Splitter, the Astral, and the Stomp.
It really comes into play when one of their cores get jumped, right? And then all of a sudden, Optic Gaming come rushing in to try to finish off like a low Terrorblade, for example.
Yeah.
When they're grouped up and they take a team fight, they're very strong.
Duel onto no one. They might be able to find the kill. They don't have anybody else coming in. The Brain Sap comes through. The Stomp is there. The Nightmare coming out. They want to try to set this up now. They have the overwhelming odds. They need 2 more auto attacks. He's going to pop the Drum Charge. No one trying to get the Roche Crit, and they actually might get this kill on the 3-3. What a play from no one. And now PPD getting chased down. It's going to be 2 dead. Virtus Pro finding the turnaround. The Stomp was there, but here comes Pi Pycat. He'll get one. He almost gets two, but Ramses gets a triple kill. No one's back into the break. The GA comes out. The ultra kill from Ramses. 4 dead. Virtus Pro turn it right around, and it all depends on that stomp counter initiation that, well, we just talked about, Brex.
That's right, we did indeed, and that's how dangerous it is, Mon. I can't believe that they were unable to kill no one in the duel. They didn't have the Troll ultimate ready for that duel, and that was just that tiny bit of damage they needed. And then he even goes for, that's, it honestly comes down to a difference of one, what's it called? The passive, the counterattack thing. The moment of courage problem, right? That's literally all it comes down to. Just one more hit.
Just the RNG not being with him there in that scenario, but...
Yep. If he gets that kill too, then there's no reason for them to chase. They reset, they get a nice clean pick off, and then all of a sudden VP are wasting their time, but wow. VP pull off a massive team fight.
And they're trying to continue to press their advantage now. They have secured themselves...
Is this a Roshan's?
Maybe a kill on PPD now with the Astro coming in, and he's just dead. The press of the attack comes in too late. Not that it would have mattered. He's just done. They'll drop the call down, but the blink comes out in time from the Legion Commander. And what was once a 5K lead, Brax, has been wiped out completely, and now the net worth is 100% even as the graph continues to spike up in favor of Virtus Pro.
In the blink of an eye, all the advantage is completely gone.
And that's what you can give this team. They're so good at just taking that one fight and getting so much out of it, and that's exactly what they did. And they can even, like you mentioned, take Roche at some point in the near future.
Yeah, Optic perhaps making a bit of an, overly optimistic play there, right? Going for that. They are totally content with just out-farming on the map, but with that play up, no one's scouting with the Invis.
Pycat has TP, he has no BKB, he has the SMY, he's pretty tanky, but they could still find the kill if they have enough heroes. Also nearby is Zai, he might be the one to grab this gank. No one's still chasing after Pycat, they have the IO tether, the glimpse stack, so they can't get the relocate, so Zai's dead. And they get the rocket barrage off. They actually got the relocate off in time, but I'm not sure. Are they going to try to fight this for Optic? It looks like they might set this up. This could be a big fight here. Optic are getting ready to go. They have the 3-3 duel, and it looks like Virtus Pro are going to back away, so Zai survives somehow, but he does get it done.
Yep, VP placed a nice observer ward, but Optic Gaming defend their IO player. That's a true team mod. Nobody left behind.
And now they're trying to find more. CCNC with the Yules in the mid lane. They've got the silence. The duel comes out. The Spirit Siphon. Nice big pickup for Optic, and they'll get the game going back in their direction.
And meanwhile, they've been doing Roche the entire time too, so very unexpected.
Troll is taking it so quickly. Pycat's going to find the Aegis, and suddenly they get a couple of kills, they get a couple of objectives, and they keep their IO alive, and they turn things right back around.
Hey, Mont, the whole momentum of the game got shifted again.
Wow.
Just like that.
It's crazy. It's just one of those things. You have these types of players. They're going to maybe find no one in the meantime in the tree line.
He's so close.
Yeah, he actually might get called down and killed if he's not careful. No one's going to have the drum charge available. 3-3 still coming in, looking for a fight. The rocket barrage is there. The Astral, they'll get PPD. Can they get anything else?
Oh, boy.
Ramses is here. He's got the Metamorphosis. CCNC getting chased down. That's a mega kill spree. Maybe they could find 3-3. The Earth Splitter, they've got the stop. The rocket barrage. They'll lose 3 heroes. A double kill for no one. Now up to a mega kill spree, and they're going to try to turn this into a tier 2 tower, and the momentum shifts again, Brex.
My goodness, what just happened? They Optic Gaming bait themselves in, trying to find no one in the trees, but VP, they placed that ward there when they ganked Zai earlier, and he relocated out, so they're able to set up in time and turn it completely.
And this is the great thing about Fairplay. You take one engagement that goes your way, and you're close to a tower, and that tower just melts. There's nothing you can do about it.
He knocks those towers down so quickly. But meanwhile, Pycat is still very, very farmed. And of course, he has the buffs from the Wisp, so he can go toe-to-toe with heroes like the Terrorblade.
See a replay here. And he was getting fogged for the most part, but eventually he found PPD with a homing missile on him.
Yep, and they thought they caught him, but VP with that Observer Ward scouts all this out, and they're able to prepare. And CCNC can't even get into the fight, and he just gets ran down.
This Terrorblade, as soon as they pop the meta, there's not really anything CCNC can do. And then they find the Earth Splitter set up onto 3-3 and the double kill. Really simple stuff for no one. You just get the rocket barrage. So, Optic, they are sitting at a 1K deficit for now.
Yep, but still, that's not very significant, right? It's more about the flow, the pace. When you look at VP's wards on the map, you can see how dominant they've been, right? They have wards behind lanes, in jungle camps, in the enemy jungle. Just, it shows all these places that they could make more aggressive plays. And then when you look at Optic Gaming side, it's not the same. They've got one ward on their side of the map, so they're unable to make as aggressive a play. But here we go. It's smoke time. They're going to move out, but VP should have an idea of where they generally are, just because of that is a reward behind the tower in the tier 2.
All right, so we will have Optic moving together as a team trying to find something, but VP, they've scanned, they know something is up. There's a ward drop for Optic, but that's not going to really be a consolation prize. And Virtus Pro playing very smartly. They even have no one pushing out the top lane at this point. The split push is continuing, and Optic are just sitting here, and there's not much they can do.
Well, here the Ghost Mont. It's time to pressure this tier 2.
Exorcism is going to go. They'll try to find this tier 2 tower. Maybe they can go into the top lane and try to split push that as well. But Stomp coming in, trying to defend this.
They even find the ward placed out from Optic Gaming as well.
They have the tier 2 tower getting dropped down lower and lower. Ramses is looking maybe to contest this. They're going to back themselves up. They're going to just let this go. I think they smoked, though. I think they're trying to run right after Optic at this point.
Yeah, they want to fight with the Exorcism being down.
Exactly. Exorcism is down. It's go time. It's try to set this up, try to find a glimpse back, try to find a Static Storm fight going your way. You have
the Ghosts are exposing where they are as well. They get the glimpse.
That'll be on Zai. He gets Static Storm. He can't relocate out. The Stomp's about to come through. The mech will come in. He's still tanky, but not enough to survive all of that burst damage. They have the Earth Splitter. PPD is able to get away just in time, but they've got the Yule Scepter to set up even more. Ramses is coming in. He's got the meta. They don't even need to use it. PPD about to fall, and no one getting an unstoppable spree now. They're getting so many kills, 2 quick ones, and now they can push in and take the tier 2 themselves as they still have that Metamorphosis available, Brax.
Wow, very smooth play from VP, just smoking up and running after Optic Gaming. You know, even if Optic know it's coming, with the bonus movement speed from the smoke and with the great catch from Disruptor, they're going to get caught.
They get another glimpse back. They're going to get the BKB off on a CCNC. That is the 10-second BKB timing with nothing. He can't get the Exorcism. He can't get a fight going. He has to use it to stay alive. Roger getting forced forward, trying to find this fight. They got the Yule Scepter onto Pycat. Troll Warlord has his own BKB and the Aegis to work with, but they will find the tier 2 tower for Virtus Pro, and they can back up shortly thereafter. Back and forth we go, Brax.
Yep, no Exorcism, no BKB. There's no way Optic Gaming can fight this, even with the Aegis. It's essentially a farming Aegis. You know, Pycat's trying to make use of it here.
He can BKB, he will. He's looking for Ramses. This is a tough fight, and they get the force away, and Ramses is fine. And they can't find anything with this 10-second BKB either. Optic lose out on all of this, and Virtus Pro disengaging so well and even still finding that tier 2 tower.
It's funny how both teams, Pycat going to get Yules here?
No BKB. He's got the Aegis, but he's getting low. The reflection comes out, the press the attack, the IO tether with the move speed. They're still chasing down with that the reflection illusion, but they can't find anything with it. The homing missile will hit him.
They're just poking at him. Yeah. They're not, you know, they could have stomped to try to set something else, set something else up even further, but they don't want to commit super hard into the Aegis, right? They want Optic Gaming to jump them, to walk into the Terrorblade, into the Gyrocopter, and the Omniac just makes positioning so much easier, but unless that happens, they don't want to take a fight. Very disciplined.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what Virtus Pro have been this entire game. They've really... when they've been given an inch, they've taken a mile, essentially, and that's they've gotten a lot out of it. They now have the top net worth hero in the Terrorblade. He has just surpassed that of Pycat on the Troll Warlord, who's still having a great game, but Ramses, whenever his Metamorphosis is up, they have to run. I don't think they can really fight into it, maybe with Exorcism, but those timings have never really aligned for the two teams.
Agreed. It's like one team uses their big cooldown to push a tower or take some sort of fight, and then the other team looks for it again right away. It's never these two abilities fighting into each other. It's both teams just trying to dodge and play around each other's cooldowns.
Yeah. It is still a 4K lead for Virtus Pro. They're in a very good position now. They're still trying to take all these outer towers. They've gotten the tier 2s in both top and mid, but they're looking for the tier 1 and the tier 2 in the bottom lane. Metamorphosis should be back up soon. 45 seconds is the timing. Roshan will respawn at the very least in 2 minutes' time. Wait and see when that happens, but they're going to try for a duel on the bottom lane. The Guardian Angel comes out. No one is fine, and they turn it right around, and 3-3 is dead. The Earth Splitter coming in there looking for the IO. Zai's down. A double kill for no one. 6K lead, and they're trying to find a third. They get the glimpse back onto PPD, and he will also fall. Big plays from Virtus Pro. They have an 18-11 kill score advantage, and they are doing great, and this is, again, this timing where they have the Metamorphosis back up now, Brex.
Man, it looked like a very clear mistake from Optic Gaming, but of course, they don't see what we see, right? They see a potentially free pickoff, but look at the wards coming out from VP. They know where Optic Gaming are generally playing. They have a ward in the mid lane, then one in the upper jungle. So of course, if they're not anywhere there, they must be in our own jungle, attempting to make a play on the bottom lane. And they just sat there behind him. Pasha with the Blink Dagger, lets them get the Guardian Angel off instantly. That's a big counter, right? GA against all this physical damage.
They just can't do anything. And the vision advantage you were talking about, it's significant. That's one of the reasons why they're winning this game. And they're about to get almost a full set of racks here. CCNC pops the Exorcism into the BKB. They want Ramses. He has the Sunder available. They'll force him away now. Optic trying to find anything. The glimpse back onto 3-3, though. He's back in the well, trying to get out. They're still chasing at this point, but Pasha's repelled up. The Ghost will do a little bit, but Ramses is back and gets the Sunder. The Static Storm comes out as well, and CCNC is destroyed. The Purification of the Rocket Rush. Pycat is now trying to fight, but what can he do? He'll get at least 1 kill on the Omni Knight, but here comes the Flak Cannon. Here comes the Gyrocopter. The Tether Mech, it's big, and they're actually going to turn it around and get 2. Pycat gets a double kill. They're looking for another one. The Glimpse comes back in for 3-3. Can he get the duel off? He cannot find it on his solo, who gets back into the river. They're still looking for Ramses. He's got no meta. Good force into the other side of the trees, though, in Optic. They at least get a couple of kills. They'll lose CCNC, but Pycat, when you have the IO tethered with him, he can do a lot of damage in these fights, Brax.
My God, when the burst heal came out from the IO too, it just turned the whole entire fight. Troll Warlord, yeah, he's very strong, and he's at top of the damage charts. Combine him up with the IO, and he gets 1,000,000 times stronger. And that's going to be like the big difference maker in these current fights. It looks so good for VP with the Sunder onto CCNC. They kill him off instantly, but didn't really matter, huh?
They got some of the buildings taken on Virtus Pro's side, and now Optic are trying to do the same thing. They want to force a buyback out of no one on the Gyrocopter, and they might be able to do so here, but the Glyph will go first, but Pycat, he can take buildings rather quickly. I mean, Battle Trance comes in, and this building just melts now. The Tier 3 will fall. They might need to get out, though. They need to be careful. The Elder Titan back into the fray. Static Storm's still not up yet, so they don't have that ready. Pycat should have the BKB up and ready to go, and he does. The Stomp will go through, but there's the press the attack. The range whirling axes. Ramsey's running right back in, but the buildings are now evened up, it looks like, for the most part. They'll try to get through the kinetic field. They can try to chase him with a reflection, but I don't know if they really want to. The comes back, he might just BKB and TP, and he will do just that. The Earth Splitter won't be there in time. It's a lot of damage being done, but he's able to get away, and we are going, again, back and forth, Brax.
Yep, very smart way of Pycat to disengage that fight. He knows there is the glimpse available. He could do it immediately, but then there's a chance that some of his teammates get caught by doing that. He frees up that disengage, but now, look what's up, Mont Roshan. And Metamorphosis is up in 10 seconds.
There's Exorcism in 15. If Optic want to contest this, they can, but this will fall very quickly. Virtus Pro have a lot of damage. Even just between Ramses and no one, when you add everybody else in this pit, it's pretty ridiculous how quickly they can take this. And I imagine this might be ages and cheese for Virtus Pro. I don't think there's any way that Optic can get there in time, and it looks like they're not even ready.
No, not at all. And how can they even fight without the Exorcism? I guess it just did come up, but they didn't have it up previously, so it makes you not want to fight when you don't have your abilities.
The scan comes in too little too late. The cheese is left in the pit, by the way. They're just running straight down mid, trying to find anything they can, but I believe the cheese is still there. It's just sitting inside the roast pit right now, Brax.
I guess Ramses just doesn't like cheese.
Yeah. You know, that happens to some people. I know Suns fan doesn't like it either. But
yeah, I don't judge. Everyone has their preferences.
Right. Well, we will see Virtus Pro now group up together. Optic have smoked, maybe trying to find something. I think they might have smoked preemptively looking for a Roche contention, but
it is still hard to walk up the hill, right? Especially when the Troll Warlord just stands his ground up there on the high ground with the IO. Makes it very difficult to get past this wall, but VP gonna back up, take these bottom tier 1 and tier 2 towers.
Yeah.
It's just free money for them. These are towers that Optic Gaming do not want to defend at all, and they're just gonna take some time, split push, try to take a tower of their own.
They walked right past the Roche pit. Optic were so close to finding that cheese. Oh. That would have been pretty funny, but they'll get the tier 1 tower instead. They can still go back on the way back.
I wonder when that's going to click in one of the players' minds, like, hey, so he's got the cheese. Hey, give me that cheese. Wait,
where is it? One of these teams has to find it sooner or later. Oh,
so close.
He's thinking about going into the pit, but nope.
Yep.
He will instead head back with the rest of his team, actually go to the top lane for now. But yeah, getting the tier 1 tower bottom, some extra room for Virtus Pro. Setting up in the bottom lane is Optic, maybe trying to find something. They have some wards too. Virtus Pro aren't going to make too much happen. Ramses is, everybody's walking by.
You know what's funny is Ramses would actually be the best cheese carrier.
Yeah.
Right? Since he's terrible, he doesn't want the Aegis.
It just must smell bad or something. They just don't want to get into the pit. It's got to be stinky.
Some real stinky cheese?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to carry that either.
Yeah.
Or eat it.
It's still in there. We'll keep the clock running to see how long.
Somebody start the timer.
Yeah,
I want to see how long that thing sits there. Let's see how long it ages.
Virtus Pro will back up. It looks like they're trying to go for a smoke, and they will. And Optic are all sitting down bottom, so if a fight is about to happen, they might be ready for it. A range creep will spot out 3-3, so they know the Legion Commander is down here as well. Optic getting a little bit split up.
CCNC up very, very far.
Pycat is up close now. He sees Solo. Instead, the Rocket Barrage goes from no one on to CCNC. He can BKB. He won't actually. He gets glimpsed back.
Oh,
and now he's in trouble, and he's bursted. BKB comes out, but it's too little too late. A big kill. He's dead for 70. He has the buyback available. Now 3-3's on the run as well. No one's BKB is pop looking for the Rocket Barrage, and 3-3 should fall as well. 2 quick kills, and, well, I guess CCNC just resigned his fate at that point once the glimpse happened.
Yeah, these are some costly deaths for Optic Gaming. 55 seconds with no death profit and the BKB charge being used. It's go time. Maybe Optic Gaming can split push. Troll Warlord does a ridiculous amount of ability damage, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. PyCat and Zion running it down mid lane.
Force the TPs back from Virtus Pro, but they will take the tier 2 tower bottom at the very least.
With PyCat's BKB TP, he's not afraid of getting caught. He can always just stand his ground and deal as much damage as possible.
They'll glyph preemptively. They'll TP everyone back. They secured the tier 2. They could have gotten more out of this, but because of the split push, now they're relocating away, and they will make it to safety. I think Zai might die here, but...
yeah, he'll definitely die. They were trying to pick off Ramses, who happened to be TPing out there, but wasn't fast enough. But still, very heads-up play from Optic Gaming, able to save their racks that way.
They missed time to stomp, but it doesn't really matter. He's dead one way or the other. He does buy his Guardian Greaves before going down at the very least.
Yep. Very nice. Oh, do we have a little courier snatch on the cheese? What happened?
Somebody got it. Somebody has that cheese. It's not in the pit anymore.
Ramsey finally found it. Okay. Yeah. He recognized something was wrong.
It took them a while, but they finally got the cheese in their inventory. And you're right, that is the best hero to have it on.
That was still a really good play from Optic, even though Zai died with the relocate there. It helped buy them some time after dying with 2 heroes in the bottom lane. Otherwise, they would have just lost the racks for free. It was a good play.
So let's talk about the items racks, because we've gotten a lot of them that we haven't really mentioned. There's 2 Lincoln Spheres for Virtus Pro against the dual of the Legion Commander.
That's very big.
You have a Lincoln Sphere on PyCat for Optic. And there's the Greaves that we were just discussing. Pasha's picking up, I think, an Aghanim Scepter. He's trying to get to that point.
You know, when you look at the Lincoln Sphere on the side of Optic Gaming, you think there's not a whole lot of spells to break it. But when you BKB with the Lincoln Sphere on, you can't get sundered.
Yeah.
Right? And when he's just sitting there man-fighting the Terrorblade, that could be the difference.
But right now, it's just the 1 Lincoln Sphere. So there's still other targets for Optic to be sundered if they're not careful.
Yes, that's true.
Scotty is now done for the Terrorblade 2. That is his next item. Ramses is getting to critical mass now.
A lot of the times against Terrorblade, we see Lotus Orbs come out. When you Lotus Orb that core hero, he can't use the Sunder because it just reverses it right back.
Also good against Nullifier.
Yep.
If that were to ever come out in this game, it's still a ways away.
Well, not Terrorblade holds 2 Nullifiers, so it's pretty good against him.
Aeon Disc up for the Death Prophet. We've seen this item picked up more and more often now.
Yep.
You just want to survive, and there's a lot of burst damage. And if you could just survive, keep the Ghost going, and get back into a better position, maybe with the IO Tether to heal him up, that'll at least keep the fight going in Optic's favor.
It's a very nice fight reset item, and I'm glad that Death Prophet players have started picking this up a bit more. It makes sense on the hero, right? Your primary goal is to stay alive as long as possible.
Sure, you're missing out on some damage for like 2 seconds, but it's not really that big of a deal. It's not like big burst damage or anything for the most part.
Right, if you jump a hero with this item and you're unable to kill them, then you pretty much lose the fight.
And now CCNC will get even tankier, get the 500 health talent at level 20. PPD looking for Fiend's Grip. We haven't actually seen one this game, I don't think. 3-3, they've got the stomp to come in. They have the static storm ready. The Earth Splitter, this is going to be a big fight. Virtus Pro, they've got the Eulers, but 3-3 already almost dead, and he is. Pasha blinks in, and he gets the Purification off. 3-3 as buyback. That's the Aeon Disc down, and now you back up, I think, if you're Virtus Pro. You try not to go too far now that you've forced that Leech Commander back into the game. Still looking for PyCat. The Lincoln Sphere is broken. Roger might get chased down by PyCat as the whirling arrow, the ranged axe is going. 3-3 still looking for some sort of initiation. Ramses has the Lincoln Sphere on him. The double Lincoln Sphere break. They're trying to find anything that they can with the Spirit Siphon. They really can't turn the initiation onto Ramses, and now repelled as well. And the tier 3 tower will be taken by Virtus Pro. They're inching forward. They have a 12K lead. They're still looking for more now. CCNC continually getting hit by a Thunderstrike. They have the Nightmare now up onto the Elder Titan. PyCat getting a little bit low. Ramsey's hitting pretty hard now with his Metamorphosis. Still going to work on the racks here. The Lincoln Sphere broken again by PPD. They want anything that glips back, and this is going to be PPD in trouble. PyCat now trying to fight no one. Pops the BKB. Ramsey's getting man-fought as well. The Legion duel is there. They've got the Fiend Script. The GA comes out of time, and they turned it. Pasha with a beautiful GA, and Roger finds himself a double kill. They'll get 3 down for Optic. There are no buybacks. Just like that, Virtus Pro might have taken this game 1-0 just with those 3 kills alone, Brax.
Somewhere out there, Siraction Slacks is smiling. Omni Knight showing his power, flexing his muscles. Guardian Angel against an all-physical damage lineup. Looks so strong. There's nothing they can do about it.
Usually he cries because it means Omni Knight might get nerfed.
Oh, I know.
Clem's back onto PyCat now. He might be in trouble. He has no BKB, but they still are focusing on their objectives in the top lane. CCNC is forced to pop the Exorcism. He is still tanky. He's still healthy right now, but he's about to get chased down by Ramses and no one, and that will secure the kill. He's dead for 75 seconds, and now that should be Mega Creeps and potentially the game for Virtus Pro here in Game 1. PyCat will try to do anything that he can. He's still alone. It is a 5v1, and he's getting ganged up on and dropped out, and Virtus Pro now 21K ahead, and Mega Creeps will be done. He will buy back into this game. game, trying to keep it even as long as possible, but it seems like it's too little too late right now, Braggs.
Yeah, Pycat versus the world, even though he's so farmed, so strong, he just can't do anything against the Guardian Angel once it comes out. It's actually ridiculous. The level of team fight that VP have when they're just grouped up as 5 is just not fightable at this stage of the game. We're talking about a repelled TB with the Guardian Angel to, you know, let him get that Sunder off every time.
And you know, we were discussing the initiation problems for Virtus Pro, but it never seems like it was an issue. They got blink dueled half the time, and they would just come in with the Guardian Angel.
Right, the counter initiation is so good.
Exactly. And so that's really been the story of the game for Virtus Pro. That, and I think the vision, for me, has been critical.
I think that they outplayed Optic heavily in the mid-game with the vision. Optic Gaming, they came out real fast in the lanes, but the vision in the mid-game let them make all these key plays where they definitely did outmove Optic on the map. They're able to bait targets and set up a lot of plays. It's very nice to see.
So a 25K advantage for Virtus Pro. They have Mega Creeps. They now have an MKB onto Ramses. Really all they need to do is wait for the next Roshan. They don't even need to do that. They could just go as 5 with the Mega Creeps, push the waves in and go from there.
As long as they hold their ground together and Pasha doesn't get jumped on in the background, he's always going to have that Blink Guardian Angel to help reset the fight.
And now it's an Aghanim Scepter GA. It is a 10-second duration of that Guardian Angel. That is an insanely long time when you think about a team fight in Dota 2.
Oh yeah, especially when you look at the ways around that for Optic, right? What's their magic damage situation? Well, we've got some Crypt Swarms to throw out every now and then, PPD, Brain Sap, yep, that's it.
Yeah, it's certainly not looking good. That is an understatement for Optic, but they will try to find something for Virtus Pro. PPD might be the target. He's able to move away from Ramses, who's walking uphill, level 22. They have the glimpse back. They found 3-3, getting caught out of position, and that is a godlike spree for Ramses. They're going to try to chase down more. The Glimmer Cape comes out onto PPD, but they should have the vision. If they don't, they can just keep chasing him at this point. The call down comes in. They might spot him with the Astral, but PPD might be able to get to safety. The glimpse is back up in 2 seconds. As long as they keep vision, they might be able to get him with that glimpse, and they will.
There it is.
The meta comes out. They get the Nightmare off. Not that it matters. The Rocket Barrage is there. Optic will lose 2. He's still alive with the Glimmer, but
it's
the
the
Homing
icing
Missile will
on
take
the
him
cake.
down. Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're going to tier 4s. They've got the meta. Optic can't really do anything. They have the extra sim. I'm not even sure they could fight this. The GA is so good against it. The tier 4 is getting assaulted. Virtus Pro trying to just run in. They're going to Fountain Dive. The Guardian Angel will go. Pycat getting right in. Zai will fall. Pycat's going to be the next. The BKB will not save him, and GG is called. Game 1. Well done for Virtus Pro. Looked a little bit back and forth at the beginning of the game, Brax, but man, did they really take what Optic gave them in that game.
Yeah, it did. I mean, we saw just how strong that Omni Knight could be up against an all-physical damage lineup. It's one of these heroes you just have to watch out for when you're shaping out your draft, right?
And it was a first pick Omni, too.
Yeah.
There is a chance. I would assume maybe the ban comes out in the next game.
Very possible.
It's just so tough. There's so much to ban against Virtus Pro. The crowd loving the performance from Virtus Pro in this first game, the victory going their way. It is a best-of-3 series, and Optic had some things to look forward to, I think, in Game 2. They looked pretty strong throughout the beginning of the game.
I just wanted to say that even though the score is a bit deceptive, it looks heavily VP favored, that was only towards the end of the game, right? Optic Gaming were very competitive in the early parts, even the mid-game. It's just once the team fights start to break out, that's when it became really one-sided.
Yeah, so with that, it is a 1-0 advantage for Virtus Pro. We will get the reactions of Paul, Suns fan, and Cap. We'll throw it over to them right now.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Mort. We will, of course, come back to Mort and Brax for game number 2. But victory for Virtus Pro in the opening game. Cap, I guess, satisfactory as far as they're concerned. But this was a good performance by Optic. First 20 minutes looked very good.
It really was. I think Optic Gaming actually made so many small little timing mistakes that it actually just ruined their game. They had a very good lead off of the fact that they had just a strong laning phase, and that's what their draft was supposed to invoke. And I think other teams have talked about this too, is that playing up against VP, you want to have that strong laning phase and be able to take away some control of the game away from them. But they had that control wrestled away from them off of just, I think, just a couple of decisions, mostly by 33 and his aggressive choice to go for some of these kills while Relocate was still on cooldown. They had a 5K gold lead, and they got stumbled into a couple of team fights that just wiped that all away.
Yeah, we're going to see some of those just now. Sunsman, go ahead.
I think a lot of teams, if you put them in the same position that Optic is in, they're going to make a lot of those same mistakes, right? Because we're kind of separating them from the top 4 teams, let's say Tier 1, with Newbie being the 4th team probably. And just making those small mistakes, a lot of teams, or I shouldn't say a lot of teams, a small amount of teams at the very top will be able to expound upon that and just take advantage of it. And just, if you give those top 4 teams like a 4K lead at 8 minutes, for example, they're probably going to be able to extend that into a larger margin. So you can see Optic has this ability to be really great. It's just these small mistakes that they continue to make that perhaps, you know, a lot of that might have to do with getting more experience against teams that are not in their region, because I mean, they've been playing complexity basically 1v1 for the most part of like the last 6 months, maybe a little EG mixed in there, but I think lands like this can definitely open up their eyes as far as strategies are concerned.
Yeah, let's take a look back at the replay of some of the highlights in this one. As we pointed out, Cap, the first 20 minutes went very well for them. When did it start going wrong for Optic?
So, well, first of all, Optic did correctly when they set up their lanes. They had this nice Wiz Legion Commander, put a lot of pressure on the Terrorblade. That was great. But what ended up going wrong here is that we're going to see this fight coming up after this one, I believe. This one, Legion Commander tries to go for the duel on no one. Roger plays this perfectly. He actually could have stumbled into what so many other players would have made, which he would have gone for the stomp onto the Legion Commander. He holds. He realized that he needs to be able to stop the Bane instead from going for the Fiend's Grip, stuns him, and as a result, this Gyrocopter gets away with 3 HP. If he doesn't stop the Bane, they kill the Gyrocopter guaranteed on that cliff. They don't get into a team fight. If Legion Commander kills the Gyro, then maybe it's just a simple 1 or maybe 2 for 1 trade out, and that would have been okay too. But as a result, we have these team fights that they stumble into where VP just come in with a Terrorblade, they clean up. There was both that fight as well as this one, and both of them are played during a time where Relocate is on cooldown for 10, maybe 15 seconds. Again, this is another window where things would have just been different if they had chose to just play a little bit more passive until that timing is up. When you have this kind of gold lead, you want to make sure that you continue to lock down the game, play your numbers advantage as often as possible, especially when a lineup like VP's, who you know is going to hit this really hard timing at about 25 minutes. That's going to be when they're strongest. With a 5K gold lead, I think you could have contested those team fights and you could have actually won some of them. They just needed to make sure they had that relocate always off the cooldown when they went to go for some of these pickoffs that they were trying for.
And I like the idea that overall, at the end of the day, Optic went for a little bit of a crazier draft, right? And I think that's kind of what they need to continue to do, because kind of what I was talking about, the best of one mentality, just switch it up, maybe forget about this game, learn from your mistakes, and I'm talking about banning some ridiculous heroes that make no sense. You need to throw off your opponent's scent. Ban Slark, for example. Not a hero that's going to be picked or banned. Ban it first, maybe. Do something crazy. I think
make them start thinking. I mean,
the LC was very weird, but it worked pretty well.
What if they're picking Spectre?
There you go.
But that's the point, isn't it? In that first draft, they kind of did that with the LC pick, because up to that point, after every single pick, Virtus Pro just auto-picked the next thing. And as soon as that LC came out, suddenly there was a little bit like, wait, what? Hold on, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was smart. I think Optic absolutely decided that they wanted to be able to contest the laning phase as best as possible. This Wisp Legion Commander gave them the best opportunity to be able to do so. It set them off in a great start to this game. And it also draws a lot of attention away from CCNC, which I think is very helpful. We've seen in the past that CCNC has been routinely just kind of left by the wayside and has his lane just completely destroyed by multiple rotations. I think Optic had a great game plan here, but their execution just wasn't quite good enough to be able to close out this game.
It's not like it was bad, though, right?
No,
I mean,
it was good. It was just these small little things. You're talking about 10 seconds on a relocate cooldown. You're talking about a BKB not being used on CCNC because, I don't know, maybe he thought like when he gets glimpsed back and they just blow him up really quickly. Maybe he thought he was going to get a relocate save so he could keep the BKB on cooldown so they could re-engage. Maybe it was some sort of miscommunication for sure. And that was just another team fight that cost them so much. I would say there's 3 instances where you could just, in the space of like 10 seconds, look at it and say, this is the reason Optic lost control of the game and probably lost.
Okay. Terrorblade Gyrocopter will feature heavily on the scoreboard, which we'll take a look at right now. But I guess, although statistically it doesn't look great, Pasha had a great game on the Omni night.
Yeah, I mean, Omni's just one of those heroes. He just pretty much always does well, it feels like, especially when you're winning the game already. Aghanim Scepter, pretty good item. You know, the global GA, can't complain about that.
I think the Blink Dagger was actually the more important item because of the fact that he recognized the timing of, I'm going to be too slow to get that Aghanim Scepter, but I need to be able to play back for the dual initiation. We talked about in the draft how playing Legion against Omni can be difficult because of the counterplay that Omni offers you here. Pasha says, I'm not going to be the one who's locked down by the duel. I'm not going to get silenced by the Death Prophet either. I'm going to be sitting way in the back. They're going to be forced to initiate into us, and I'm going to blink in at that right moment, get that Guardian Angel off every single time.
Who's your MVP here?
Oh, I don't know. That's actually a tough one. This was a team effort. All 5 heroes.
You can't give it to all 5.
You know, I just read a comment that says, Sunsfan, you know, he great responses, never really cops out. Not so.
Okay,
so
Ramses,
fast.
I'll go the cheap route.
Okay.
Give it to the position 1. Why not?
Okay,
I
so
think
TB was pretty
Ramsey for
ridiculous.
the MVP.
Sure. I feel like he could flip a coin on this one, honestly. Do you disagree with that?
No, you're absolutely right. It's not a cop-out if it's true. Every single game of Dota is based around all 5 of these players, but I would give a special shout-out to Pasha as well for, I think, the Blink Dagger choice was really smart. He played the game really well, especially later on into it. I think Roger had so many good plays in these team fights, especially that really calm play where his gyrocopter gets dueled. I think many other players would have panicked and say, I need to stomp. But he sat there. He held it. He waited for the Bane to come in. He's like, okay, I got to stop this Bane from being able to get the follow-up initiation. I think that displays that sort of next level kind of mentality to be able to really understand like the chain reactions that happen in Dota and how to disrupt it.
Yeah, he's already had an MVP tournament.
Yeah.
At his first tournament with Virtus Pro, and they win a major.
Yeah.
That's why we got to space it out a bit.
Second one as well.
We got to space it out. Don't give him all the glory. You don't want to give him too big of a head before TI. I mean, you don't want to get too overconfident. We've seen what happens with that. I mean, Secret a couple years ago, and many a team before that. So you can't fall into that endless hole.
It's a good point. It's a good point. All right. We're going to take a break here in Bucharest, but don't go too far away. The PGL Bucharest Major is starting to heat up properly. The last of our quarterfinals is upon us. Virtus Pro have a game lead. Can Optic pull it back? We'll find out very shortly.